Welcome back to Pop Off with James. I'm James Pike, and today we have Brooke Laughton from Season 3 of Below Deck Med. I hope you enjoy, and this is a Below Deck Above Average production. Welcome, everybody. I'm James Pike, and this is my podcast, Pop Off with James. I have Brooke Laughton from Season 3 of Below Deck Med. How are you?
Very well, James. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. So, where do you live now? What have you been up to since the show?
Went to Saudi Arabia, and I stayed there for about 2 years, and I was working land-based in a palace for the Crown Prince there, and I was like a senior butler, which was interesting. Yeah, that was quite mad. And then after that, what did I do then? I moved to Dubai. I opened up some businesses, and then I moved to Italy, and then I moved to Mallorca, and then I got this job as an interior manager on a big boat, and still sort of run the businesses in the background because I get the year off. And obviously I got engaged, and then now I'm not engaged. So that was another dimension. So yeah, just life is just crazy, isn't it? You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, like it seems like you're kind of hopping around a lot. And what's been your favorite place to live in? Like Dubai or?
No, I hated living in Dubai. It's just super pretentious. It's just like everything is just about I don't know, it's just fake. It has no soul. You can't like go on a nice big hike, or you can't go sailing, or like think like I'm like I have like a bohemian edge, and it just didn't satisfy that. It's just like fake tits and rich Arabs basically. So just if you're not like drinking in a beach club or spending loads of money at Nobu, you're basically doing nothing. So just wasn't for me. I didn't like it at all. And Mallorca was always the top of my list where I wanted to live. And then like 4 or 5 months ago I moved here. So yeah, it was like my dream place to live here.
Is that where your ex-fiance lives, if you don't mind me asking?
No, he's from Holland. He lived here with me, and he's gone back to Holland now.
While we're on the topic, did you want to say anything about your relationship or anything like that?
Yeah, I can just, I mean, we're still gonna always be really good friends, but it was just one of those things. I think like it was me that had to end it. And like there were a few like personal things that happened between us that I don't want to go into, but it was more just, like you can't marry someone if you have even like a shred of doubt, like that you're not totally aligned on where you want to go together, and if that makes sense.
Totally.
Yeah. So it is a shame. Like I still love him, and it's really raw. Literally, it was like last week that I ended things. So, but I think it's for now it's the right thing.
See, that kind of sucks because from what I've seen of you, like on the show and stuff, you seem to be all about kind of, finding the right one and settling down and, having a soulmate. So it sucks that, that you haven't got that yet, but.
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know. I think like the older I'm getting, I think it's like more the idea of it rather than I think what it takes to, sort of work on things. And I don't know. I'm like quite ambitious, and I like to be, I don't know, a little bit selfish as well. So I'm kind of like a paradox in that. Like I do ultimately want that, but now it's not the most important thing to me anymore. I think like my like career and everything is kind of what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
But yeah, from the outside world, like it did look like, and I thought that he was my soulmate and the one and stuff. So it's shaken me to realize that I don't know. you can change your mind and you can think something's right and then it's not right, and it's just life, and life just happens, and people change and grow and want different things, and it's just a battle, isn't it? Love is a bloody battlefield.
It is so true. And
Yeah.
I find though, if when you're kind of like gung-ho and you're like searching for it, that's when it seems like it gets farther away. But as you kind of like relax and kind of let it come towards you, I think that is like a better way of letting it happen for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So how did you get into the show? How did you hear about it? Do you have a story about that? Or
Yeah, kind of. So the way that I heard about Below Deck was just by watching it like everybody else, and it was kind of I think very first season, which like prompted me to look into getting into yachting. And then my first boat, which was like quite a high profile yacht, Andy Cohen was like a regular charter guest on there.
really?
And yeah, so I met Andy loads and like had a nice relationship with him, and he was always like saying to the crew to apply and things like that. And then like I even went to like watch What Happens Live because he got me tickets a few times when I was in New York and stuff. And then like a few years later I ended up being on and watch What Happens Live. I was like, it's just so weird. But then yeah, I just applied the regular way. I saw an advert, like it comes through, like we have like specific yachting groups on Facebook, and then I just applied and didn't think anything of it, didn't think I'd get through like the next rounds or anything, and then it just like kept like going forward, and then the next minute I was on a plane to Naples, and I was like, all right, I guess this is happening then. Yeah.
So if they would have like asked for you back, would you have like continued on with the show?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think now I'm older and not so sensitive, and sort of have been through that with like online trolls and stuff, and the sort of platform that it offers you for if you like I have businesses and things like that, like it is such the negatives the positives outweigh the negatives like tenfold. I would 100 again.
Oh, nice.
And I would be the person this time.
So coming off that question, it made me think, like, do you have like a regret that you can kind of think about right now off the top of your head about the show?
Oh my God, like a million. Just being like a little wet lettuce, like, and just like being afraid of I don't know, like every time a camera would come around, I would like shy away. Like I was a bit too shy then. I didn't have like the same confidence that I've got now because I was younger. And I'd never done the show, so I didn't know how it worked. And then also, yeah, like all the crap with like being in a love triangle, like that makes me cringe now. I cannot watch it. I'm just like, oh, kill me. Yeah, loads. I think getting too drunk on TV. I think like, well, I mean, whatever. I'd probably do it again, to be honest. Yeah.
You know what I forgot was when you got really drunk and then you were like on the street and then you were like saying how much you like the chef Adam. That was so funny.
No, that was so cringy. Yeah.
But it's always like, I mean, probably for you, it probably feels cringy, but for the viewer, we like when somebody puts themselves out there. It kind of is more entertaining. It gets us to know you better. And it's, I don't know, the seasons are always better when people kind of do stuff like that, I think.
So I guess, I mean, I thought he was fit. I wouldn't go so far as like I like really liked him. It was just like, yeah, he's fit and he's a chef. No, the end of the story. I didn't have to embarrass myself.
Oh, I always wonder, maybe you can't say, I always wonder how much does the production have to do with like the storyline? And are they saying, you know what, I'll, go talk to Joao right now and say this? Are they kind of nudging you towards a sort of situation or?
A tiny bit, but probably not as much as people would think. So there is like odd like whisper in your ear about like, oh, you should probably just speak to him, or just tell Hannah how you feel or whatever, because they can see what's brewing, and it's just like a nudge to sort of do something, but not that often. It is very fluid, and it sort of is up to the cast, and then they obviously edit it to like emphasize on different things and how they want the story to appear. But yeah, the production are incredible. Like they're so good at what they do.
Yeah, because I always wondered, like, where does the production sleep? Are they sleeping off of the yacht, or because there must be like a lot of people? Like,
Yeah, they sleep. They have hotel, or and like they do shifts, and then they just have like a tender boat that swaps them out.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
So how surprised were you that Colin had a thing for you? Because that was kind of out of nowhere. It kind of seemed.
I'd heard whispers about it, but I was surprised, and I was surprised that he said it like to the extent that he did. But yeah, I absolutely loved Colin. Like, it's a shame that I don't really speak to him anymore, but he's just such a good person, and he's so much fun. He's so funny, but I wasn't attracted to him.
No.
I just found him funny. I mean, I guess, yeah, you can be laughed into, aren't you? But not. Nah.
When you were joining the show, did you, because, you know, Hannah had already been on the show for a while, so had Sandy. You were a chief stew or working on a yacht before, and then you're joining this yacht with like reality stars. Did you feel like you were around reality stars more, or do you feel like you were just joining like another yacht?
And it was like they were TV stars. They weren't like respected chief stew captains. Not in my opinion. Like it was about the cameras and creating the story, and they knew what they were doing, and that's why they've been around for so long. So that was also a bit of a shock for me. That ultimately I was the one that was doing everything on that boat, because it kind of was all about like getting stories and everything. Yeah. Oh, here's my dog.
Hey. He's like, what the hell?
And the podcast.
So cute. Oh my God, what's his name?
Marley. It's a girl.
Aww.
But she's going to with my ex-fiance from tomorrow.
Aww. So cute. Yeah. So did you ever like learn more of the TV kind of things from them? Like when you started the boat, were you kind of picking up on things that you felt like you should be doing too, because, you know, they were kind of doing it and you wanted to be on, like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Kind of. I know what you mean, but I didn't really buy into that, you know, like I can't be fake. Like it just isn't in my nature. Like it is like very much this is how I feel today, or I don't know. Yeah, I find that cringy. That's why I don't think I'm good at reality TV, because I can't put on a good show. Like it is what it is in a way. Yeah. But it's really see-through, isn't it, when somebody's like behaving a certain way for the sake of the camera. So obviously I did pick up on it, but I wasn't gonna like emulate it for my benefit. I was just there to just be who I was. Yeah. Which is a shame.
I mean, you didn't really come across as like shy or anything from what I saw.
Okay.
Who was your favorite charter guest, and who was like your least favorite charter guest from that season?
Least favorite charter guest was definitely the first lot, that, you know, the ginger woman who was like an absolute lunatic. The very first charter.
It was crazy.
The nuts people. Like, can I get nuts? Like, they were my least. And then I would say my favorite was probably Kenny and Amber.
Oh, cool.
with the southern couple. They're lovely. There's like really wealthy but really down to earth, really good fun. They were great. Left a good tip, all the good stuff, and just fun and just easy going.
Did you find that the charter guests were trying to put on a show too for like the cameras and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Of course they do. I mean, if you think about it, why would you charter a yacht if you have that amount of money?
Yeah.
For anything other than like your own publicity? Why would you want? It's like your place to be for privacy and everything, and it's just. So yeah, that's exactly what it's about. They want, maybe they have a business that the few of them brought on like their own wine that they'd created and like made it a point to have it on the table. Or this like I think he was like a self-help person, and he was like constantly spouting things about that. And yeah, so they all have an agenda for doing it, for sure.
Oh, that's super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like how did you like Captain Sandy? From all of your experience with captains, how was Captain Sandy?
I really like Captain Sandy. I think that she's got a really good heart, and she means well. I think I didn't necessarily agree with some of her like calls on certain situations, and I didn't like if it was for the camera, like in terms of how she gave like the interior a really hard time, because ultimately she didn't like Hannah, and she was creating this rift with Hannah, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, this is my career and you're making out that service is bad, like just because you want a story, and I'm there like 24/7 with the guests and so attentive, and it's like, so things like that annoyed me, because it was like you sort of, I don't know, just like going against my integrity to create a show, and I didn't like that. Yeah, I think that she's competent. I think that she's a really good person, but she's a TV captain in a way.
She kind of sold her soul for the cameras a little bit.
Yeah, I think anybody that does reality TV, like it kind of does say something about you, which sounds really hypocritical because I did it, but it kind of does.
From the Yachties that I talk to, they're like, oh, everyone says that if you go on Below Deck, it's going to ruin your career. It's going to give you a bad name. It's going to cancel you in yachting. One, did you have those fears? And two, like, did it affect your career at all when you left the boat?
Yeah, I really had those fears. And especially when all like the sort of negativity came up about the service. And I even said to the producers, like this is totally unfair. Like, you see what's going on, and I've done this, I think at the time I'd done it for about 5 years, and I was like, this is what I do, this is what I love doing, and for the sake of 6 weeks of filming, just please do not like screw me here, basically. And they didn't at all. They didn't make me look shit at my job or anything, but I did have those fears. And then moving forward, it like didn't affect me at all. Like, I've had such good jobs since then, and even like this job that I'm on now, I told the captain about it, because I know that captains can be funny, because they think, oh, we're just bringing on drama here, and yeah, he was fine about it, and he's seen it, and yeah, it's no big deal at all. But I think it depends. I think if you do like really, really embarrass yourself in terms of the way that you do your job, then you're probably screwed. And it also depends on the CV that you've already built behind you before you go on to it. So I was quite lucky that I had quite a strong CV. So you kind of like taken on that merit rather than 6 weeks of doing a show.
Yeah. Like, were you surprised that they had Joao come back the next season? Or
no,
not much, no?
Oh God, no. He's made for that show. He's made for TV, that guy. I was not surprised in any way. And yeah, he's going to be gunning for the captain's role 100%.
Are you still in touch with him at all?
Well, funnily enough, he's in Mallorca at the moment where I am. So he's visiting here. And we got in touch the other day and gonna go for a drink, but I just haven't got round to it. And yeah, probably won't.
That's cool that you guys can kind of just like still be chill and, you know.
Yeah, I think it would be fine if I saw him. I think like there's a lot of like time has passed and yeah, I don't have any negativity towards him at all. I think ultimately he's a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a couple questions about you and him on the show?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay. Like in the show, he kind of was kind of like double dipping between you and Casey a little bit.
Isn't that? Yeah.
And I just noticed that I felt like you kind of gave him a bit of a pass with it on the show.
Yeah.
Was it because you didn't quite know the extent of what was happening, or like a mix of that and like you were just kind of in that situation, you can't really describe it? I was just curious.
I think that was part of it, that I didn't know the extent at all. And also I think I don't know. I didn't really care that much. I was just sort of going with it. We were on a TV show, and I was like, I never. Yeah, I didn't know the extent of it, to be fair. But after knowing someone for a few weeks, I can hardly be like, how dare you like somebody else? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was sort of just like going through the motions and seeing where it ended up and seeing what would come of it at the end of the charter. And yeah.
Yeah, I only asked that because I don't know, you seem sophisticated and well put together, and I just would almost, if I didn't see you with Joao, I would feel like he wouldn't be your type kind of thing, you know?
Oh, he's not my type at all.
No.
Just an anomaly. I was just like in the middle of a show, my mind was like crazy. He's obviously good looking.
Yeah.
But that's like where it ends. Yeah.
So while we're on the topic, what would you say is your type?
Hilariously funny. Like you have to make me laugh constantly. Like I just love to laugh, and I'm a little bit immature in some ways. Like I could just laugh at stupid shit all day. So just being really funny, really intelligent, and like keep my mind sort of stimulated, you know, someone that you can have really deep conversations with, and 1 minute you're talking about politics and the next minute you're talking about, I don't know, I don't know, somebody that is stimulating, and somebody who is ambitious, and you sort of like goal driven, and you like can build an empire together. Tall, broad, handsome, fun, spontaneous. Yeah, somebody that is like money motivated, which sounds a bit crass, but yeah, I want somebody that's ambitious and wants a nice life, because I want a nice life. And yeah, I would say that somebody with a nice family, like not I'll get out my list. I've been writing this for years, but some a nice family that you can get on with, and you know, not like, you know, families that can really change a relationship, I think, you know, if you don't get on with them, because it's like you're committing to them as well. Somebody that just has like a lust for life, like enjoys life, and like makes the most out of every experience, and is spontaneous and romantic, and yeah, fun.
Well, I think those are all fair enough. You're saying you want somebody who has goals and who's money driven. You're not necessarily saying, I want a millionaire, right? Because you kind of would grow with somebody. So I think that's cool. Like,
you should build together, and you should be building your empire, like even if you have nothing, but if like you're full of ideas, smart and creative, and yeah, I'm definitely not a gold digger, unfortunately. I wish I was.
If you didn't end up with Joao from the show while you were filming the show, is there somebody that you would think that you would have had a fling with instead of if Joao wasn't there?
On my season,
Yeah. I mean, or any season if you're thinking of someone else.
I mean, not my. I mean, you can turn me down clearly, but yeah.
Adam.
Jeff, I think that he's like, I find him quite intelligent and funny and a bit mad. So maybe Chef Ben.
Oh, Chef Ben.
Yeah.
I thought you said Jack for some reason.
Oh no, not Jack.
Do you keep in touch with anybody from the season at all, or?
Very, very occasionally. Still not really. I would say like every 4 or 5 months. But them, yeah, even me and Casey are fine now.
Oh, nice. I have a few questions about Hannah, if that's okay.
Oh wait, I actually saw Conrad like 2 weeks ago. We met up for dinner and drinks in Antibes, France.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How's he doing?
He's good. He's like fully like settled down now. He's got like a really serious girlfriend who has a child. They live together. He's started a yachting related business. So yeah, he's doing really well. It was so nice to catch up.
If I remember correctly, isn't his daughter named Hannah or something?
Well, it's not his daughter, it's his girlfriend's daughter.
Oh, okay. So you know how Hannah and Captain Sandy kind of like had their thing on your season?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, do you watch the show at all or no?
No, I haven't seen. I watched the season after me, and then the others I haven't seen.
Yeah. So seeing how like Captain Sandy and Hannah had their thing, were you kind of like surprised at all that it kind of ended where it did?
Was I surprised? No, I think Sandy was trying to get rid of Hannah for a long time.
Yeah.
And that the thing with the Xanax or whatever it was like the ultimate way to do it. So yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah. Do you think that maybe Captain Sandy tried to get rid of Hannah, but maybe production was like, no, she's reality gold. Like, let's keep Hannah. And that's what made Captain Sandy keep Hannah. That's what I
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Really have a say, does she? Like, it's not like a real boat in that way. I think if production want to keep on, then they'll stay. Yeah.
And because you're a chief stew yourself and working with Hannah, how do you think that you are similar to Hannah, and how do you think that you're different from Hannah's kind of managing styles?
Oh God. I think different is oh God, this is a hard one. Well, I'm like do stuff. I think Hannah's strength is that she's really good with guests, and guests like her, most of them, and I'm good with guests as well. So there's one. I think we're different in the way that like she's not very creative and like dynamic with ideas and things like that. And then I like the management of girls. It's very much like I'm your boss and you're my worker. So you're doing it, and I kind of like to get my hands dirty with everyone. And like if I'm asking someone to do it, then I'll do it myself, and like I'll get involved. Like I have like a team of like 8 girls on the boat now. There's nothing that I wouldn't, if housekeeping is down and a toilet needs to be scrubbed and a shower needs to be cleaned, then I will get involved in stuff like that. I'm not like above anything, which I felt like she'd be a bit like that, and it's not really good a good attitude to have. I mean, I actually do love Hannah. I think that she's got such great personality traits, but she just wasn't, her head wasn't in that job. She was there for being on the TV. It wasn't like she was passionate about being a chief stewardess. So it's hard to say. It's a hard question because it was, yeah, she wasn't really doing the job. She didn't want to do the job. So yeah.
Fair enough. She had an opportunity and she kind of, she pivoted when she, was let go, and now she's like living her best life, and, good for her. Yeah.
Yeah. And she milked the show, and she did what she had to do, and she was an amazing character on it. And yeah, but it's hard to sort of relate it to like a normal chief stewardess on a normal boat.
Yeah. And you guys are filming for like 6 weeks, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so when you guys are filming, how often are you guys doing interviews?
Yeah, after every charter we do those. And then we also have to fly to LA following like a few months in a row to do like pickup interviews. So if there's things that they haven't asked us that they forgot, then we sort of have to relive it and pretend that we're in the moment again.
Really?
Yeah.
There was like that rumor about you, everyone thought that you were going to be going and replacing Kate as a chief stew. So that totally wasn't true, obviously.
No.
Do you know where that came from at all, or?
I think someone had said that they'd seen them filming in St. Martin or wherever it was, I don't know, and that the new chief stew looked like me. And I had in my bio on Instagram that I was a chief stew, but I'd already been a chief stew for ages. So it just like, I think that's where it came from, but I don't know. I don't know how, I don't know why, but yeah, definitely not.
Let's play a game, okay? Let's play 2 truths and 1 lie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll let you go first.
Okay.
So you tell me 2 things that are true, and then just throw like a random lie in there, and then I'll see if I can find out the lie.
Okay. Oh, God.
Put you on the spot.
Yes. I am a drummer. I'm a grade 9 drummer, so I play the drums. I have never eaten sushi, and I have traveled to over 60 countries.
I'm gonna totally say that it's the sushi. Like I think you've had sushi.
It was so shit, wasn't it? Like easy.
Okay, I'll do one. I work for the provincial government. I played hockey when I was a kid, and I have 1 brother, 1 sister.
You didn't play hockey when you were a kid?
I think I actually screwed up because they were all true.
Okay.
Oops. Okay. It looks like what, sorry?
A government office.
Yeah, it's so chill here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've asked everything that I have. Did you want to plug your businesses?
I can do. Yeah. So I basically, after doing Below Deck, you get so many messages about how to get into the yachting industry. And I was like, oh, okay, there's something here that I can help people with. So I actually set up a site called the Naughty Yachty Coach. And I wrote an ebook which basically tells like green deckies and stewardesses, so people that have never worked on boats, like an A to Z of how to get into yachting, exactly what courses they need, where they need to base themselves, what they need to do, how they need to conduct themselves. So yeah, all sorts of stuff. And it's $35, and it's worth every every cent. So I did that, and I also helped with CVs, so resumes for yachting, because it's slightly different with land-based compared to being on boats.
Yeah.
I have another business with my sister in which we it's like a job site for people that are in the performing arts, so people who are musicians or dancers or models or actors, and we basically have a website where we curate all current jobs, and people can apply through our site, and it goes directly to the casting director. Yeah, that's what I do.
So cool. And sorry, can you remind me of the website of your book again?
It's called the naughtyyachtycoach.com, but naughty is spelled Nauti, and then yachty is YACHTIE coach.com, the naughtyyachtycoach.com.
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for doing my podcast. Again, I'm James. You can follow me on Below Deck Above Average, Pop Off with James, or my personal account is at It's James Pike. And we can find you on Instagram. Where?
Yeah. Just at Brooke Laughton.
Okay. Very simple. Thank you so much. I was like super nervous. So like, thank you for putting up with me.
Why?
Being like social and that kind of thing, it doesn't come really naturally to me.
Really?
Yeah, I started the Instagram and it was easy because I was kind of like behind the scenes. And then once I started gaining a lot of followers, everyone's like, you have to do this, you have to do that. You have to take advantage of your audience. And I was like, I guess, right? So I started like doing this podcast, and oh my God, my first podcast, I couldn't even like talk because my heart was like beating in my throat.
Oh, shame. Are you nervous at all?
Oh, thank you. You're probably just being nice, but
no,
yeah.
not at all. Yeah. You've done this because your page is really popular, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I just like try to be like a good person and just post stuff.
Hate on it's a lot of them do.
Thank you so much. It was really nice meeting you.
Good to meet you too.
Yeah, you were like even nicer in person, so thank you.
Well, let me know when you put it up, and I'd love to watch it and share it.